Oh.
Delay on the video.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Westside Unitarian Universalist Church, where compassion leads us to work for justice and equality. Glad you came today, and it is my hope that you will find something here that nourishes your heart, feeds your mind, and grows your spirit. My name is Tanner Trask, and I will be your worship leader this morning. Be you a spiritual seeker, an atheist, or a theist, Westside is a community of many beliefs, genders, and sexualities, a community of diverse cultural, racial, and class backgrounds, a community of varied abilities and gifts. Some here find inspiration in the great books, others in the great outdoors, and others still in great conversations. Whoever you may be, all are welcome in our inclusive congregation. To newcomers and old friends alike, together we say, welcome. At Westside, we are raising the next generation of Unitarian Universalists, and we want them to know that they are an important part of our community. Several years ago, we chose to be radically inclusive and to adopt a multi-generational worship where our services include all family members, so please welcome all children and youth of all ages. There are a number of announcements included in your order of service. It's a little thicker than normal this week, so please take any of these with you that might serve as reminders this week, or if you'd like to share them with others. There's two in particular I'd like to mention. First, in the sort of main insert, we've got the thing for the Circle Suppers returning. If you'd like to get to know some of your fellow Westsiders in a non-Sunday morning environment, I highly recommend you check this out. There's also the giant poster right near the door on your way out. So definitely check that out. Second one is the Yellow Interests Survey. Please take some time this morning to circle the areas that pique your interest for ways in which you might want to connect here at Westside. There's going to be a box on the table outside the sanctuary door to leave your survey in before leaving today. There's also pencils located around the corners of the sanctuary in case you need one. Now, for those of you joining us online today or visiting in person, if you are not already on our mailing list, please sign up by clicking the link at the bottom of our westsideu.org website. And for those of you in person with us, please take a moment to sign up. And this morning, we welcome our longtime member and current office administrator, Linda Ice. We will also be officially welcoming our newest members, hearing from our special choir, and after the service, please join us for a potluck luncheon in Fellowship Hall. Linda used to do for those of you that were here, that have been here as long as I have, she used to do the worship services and worship lead for a long time, and it was kind of watching her do that made me think, gosh, maybe I could try that one day. Here I am. Now I invite you to take a deep breath, and from wherever you are, settle into this sacred space that we create, and let us worship together as we listen to this morning's prelude, Stand By Me, performed by Dr. Our opening words today are written by the Reverend Dr. Richard S. Gilbert. We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much for you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome, who enter this hall as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who find in this people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. And I'd like to invite Chris Johnson forward to light our chalice this morning. The chalice represents the Unitarian Universalist Association, or UUA, and is a symbol of the Unitarian Universalist faith. The flaming chalice is a symbol of both the heritage of our past and the light of hope within this church today. Our chalice lighting words are written by Janet Parsons, titled A Chalice Lighting for Ingathering. The flame of our chalice this morning is a symbol of the warmth and brightness of our connections. The flame lights our way back together again from our separate summer lives, and it lights our way forward into this new church year of promise and renewal. And our opening hymn today will be number 347, Gather the Spirit, in the gray hymnal. Please stand as able and so moved to join our song leader, doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to work for justice through action, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. You may be seated. And please come forward if you are young at heart or would just like to have a close-up view of our Time for All Ages today with our presenter, our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, Nikki Kennedy. Had to get the reserve pillows out this morning.
A little bit. Thank you. Wow, I'm so excited to see all of you today and to hear. Did you hear all the voices we have with us today when we were singing? Man, what a great Sunday it's going to be. Did you guys hear some weather come in the other night? What did you hear?
I heard hail.
You heard hail?
Yeah.
You heard rain?
Lightning.
You heard lightning?
Our
Saw lightning?
lights came on whenever.
Some people lost electricity. Did you guys see any trees down?
Yes.
Maybe some leaves on the ground?
Trees are split.
One of your trees split. Some people had trees fall into their house and their garage. You know, scary stuff sometimes happens, but you know what is so wonderful is that in this place, we are all a part of a community, and we get to help each other out. Today, we have some new friends, and we had people welcome them and greet them and smile. When we need stuff, there's people here that we get to ask for help. When we have questions, could be simple questions or it could be really hard questions. If you look around this room is full of people to help answer our questions and to help us learn and grow and explore. And today is especially exciting because we are kicking off a new year at Westside. Woohoo is right. Let's try that again. Are your woohoos ready? Okay, I'm going to ask for them in just a second. Today, we are kicking off a new year at Westside. I think we can do it a little bit better. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Today, we are kicking off a new year at Westside. That was really awesome. You guys are great. One of the things that I think is so special about gathering with each one of you here at Westside is the way we get to start our time together. And one of our rituals that is very important to me is the chalice lighting. Now, we have a very special chalice right up there. Oops. Do y'all see the little flame up there? That is a very special chalice. And if you guys ever want to light it in the service, talk to me and have your parents come talk to me, okay? Because we want you to have a chance. But here's the thing about the chalice. It's not just for Sundays. Now, maybe that chalice just stays in this space. But we can have chalices everywhere with us, and it symbolizes some really important things. For us, it symbolizes community. It reminds us that our light is, we all have a light that the world needs to see, but together, when we light things together, it is much more powerful. And I have something that I want to share with you so that when you see it, you remember you are an important part of this community. Not just the people here, but the people that have come before us, the people that couldn't join us today, and those to come. So I wonder, what's in the Wonder Box today? Stuff. I'm going to shake it. Tell me what you hear. Sounds like rocks. What do you think?
I know it is. It might be 100 calories.
100.
Chalice?
100 chalices? Huh, wow, Cadence. I guess you turn 7 and you get pretty smart.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, yes, you do, because I have chalices in here for all of you. So I'm going to ask each one of you to take a chalice in a minute, and then we're going to put the other chalices on the table in the fellowship hall for our luncheon for all of you to take home a chalice as well, to remind yourself, whether it's next to your bed, whether it's on your dresser, or even on your bathroom bathroom counter, that you are an important part of this community and you are wanted and needed and you make a difference. So I hope this year is an incredible year for Westside. I hope it is an incredible year for each one of you, young and young at heart alike, and that we have an incredible year together. Now let your light shine and take a chalice home, and I look forward to hearing more chalice stories with all of you.
I'm getting one for my brother.
Just take one.
I'm getting one for
Thank you.
Can I get one for my brother?
I'll let him choose one. I'll let Lawson choose one. I know, I'm gonna
Can I get
move.
one for my brother?
No, you may get one for you, and then we'll
Mama, what one do you want?
Mom's gonna get to choose her own. You got one for you.
So we'll go ahead and sing our kids back out with number 16 in the gray hymnal, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." Another reason to go to the potluck today. There's a word for that. Potluck. And at this time, I would like to invite Dwight Robarts, Westside's president of the board of directors, and Sue Anderson, our chair of the membership committee, up to the stage. As they are coming up, I invite you to follow along with the blue insert, where the ceremony words are printed for you to follow and respond when appropriate.
Good morning. Good morning. Today we welcome into our community several new members who have chosen to make a commitment to this congregation by signing our membership book. We are united here in membership and friendship by the bonds of fellowship and service. We are so glad these people have chosen this community to travel with us on our life's journeys. Please come to the stage as your name is called.
Okay, Pat Martin. Pat teaches classes as an adjunct at Tarrant County College. In her spare time, she rescues animals. She enjoys spending time with her many grandchildren. Yeah, come on up. All right, Regine Jackson. She was born in Kurdistan, Iraq, where she spent her childhood and then moved to Germany when she was 12. She has been living in the U.S. for 8 years and currently lives in Arlington with her husband and 2 children. She is a lawyer practicing wills and trust, real estate and business law. She joined Westside because her beliefs align with what the church represents. Okay, next is Erin Russo, and feel free to bring your family up. She and her family love to meet and get to know people. They also enjoy going to the beach and hope to have time for a vacation soon. She and her family have loved the people, the messages, and the welcome that they have felt here at Westside. And then Jeff Canclini. Jeff is a sojourner who delights in exploring life's mysteries and learning kernels of truth. He started life in Northern California and migrated to Texas in 1980. He has helped raise 4 beautiful children, worked in aerospace, explored the globe, picked a guitar, and sang whenever he could. He is excited to be a member of Westside, where he was introduced to humanism and feels challenged to grow and make a difference in meaningful ways.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm going to ask you guys 4 questions, and after all 4 are asked, I'll give you an opportunity to respond, okay? Please respond to the following questions. Will you bring to this church your minds, imaginations, joys, and sorrows? Will you commit to give your time, energies, and material support? Will you engage with us as we seek to create a community dedicated to love and justice? Will you covenant with us to walk together in the living tradition of Unitarian Universalism? You say, great. Members of the congregation, will you please join me in reciting the congregation's welcome on the insert and also on the screen? We welcome you to Westside Unitarian Universalist Church. Your joys and sorrows will now become our own. We recognize your commitment as we have made the same. We also recognize our similarities and honor our differences. May each of you find in the church the warmth of friendship, the challenge of ideals, and the nourishment for your spiritual and intellectual needs. Together, we widen our vision, renew our strength, and struggle for justice in this community and in our world. So they're all getting a new member pin, which is kind of the secret code to get in. Especially now that the door's always locked on Sunday.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys. So glad to have you. You may be seated.
Always great to have one of these new member ceremonies. Welcome, 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 everybody. And of course, welcome to all of you that are likewise already members or friends or first-time visitors. So just good to see everybody here. Next, I'm going to invite Brenda McKeon, your pastoral care advocate this morning, and to go over the joys and concerns.
Good morning. I'm Brenda McKeon, your pastoral care associate this morning. In our community here at Westside, we take time each week to share pieces of our lives with one another. We do this because each person in our community has value. Each person's experience matters. Submit your joys and concerns in the team by completing one of these forms or at the welcome desk, emailing us at pastoralcare@westsideu.org, or contacting any member of our team. We share our concerns with one another today, knowing that sorrows come from each other's lives, knowing that together we offer comfort. And we have one concern from Caroline Nixon. Dr. Linda Moore, a professor of social work at TCU, died Friday morning. She was beloved by many and positively changed many lives. Her infectious laugh and genuine love of all people is already missed. Rest in peace to her colleague, mentor, and friend. We also know our joys with one another, knowing too that joys come in all of our lives, knowing that together our voices can rise in the chorus of celebration. And I have a joy from Diane Jones and Charlie Ford. There are many wonderful things happening at church today, and we are sorry we're not there. We're in a Texas beach this weekend with our 7.5-year-old grandson, Ty, which is a great, but we know that we're missing one of the coolest UU ceremonies ever by Linda Ice and our choir. The exciting things happening with Nikki having organized the intergenerational social activities this year and the launch of circle suppers all feel like the perfect remedy for a difficult summer we shared. Me and Charlie are planning to enjoy and be involved as much as possible, always together. We also have a joy from Cadence Rodriguez, who turned 7 yesterday. Yay! Not every joy or concern can be shared openly in community. Some must be shared eye to eye or simply held in the heart. We recognize that some of us do not have the voices with which we can speak the depths of our pain or the height of their celebrations. We make space each week for musical centering, knowing that the joys, life, and experience of each person matters, and together our light shines bright. So we will hold all the joys and concerns among us, and both spoken and spoken, and let us center to 1053, How Could Anyone, in the Teal hymnal.
Now I'd like to invite Leotai Bennett up for our...
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Leotai Bennett. I invite you to relax your mind and body and join in a time of meditation. It will begin with an introduction before we move into a minute of silence. Our Tibetan prayer bowl will sound to signal the start of your own meditation, prayer, or reflection, and it will sound again at the end. Our introduction this morning is Know You Are Not Alone by the Reverend Gretchen Haley. For this one moment, know only that you are loved, that you are safe and whole and loved. Know that you belong here among us, here upon this earth, in your body, however tired or broken. Your heart may be whatever fear, disappointment, anger you carry. For this hour, know you are not alone. Feel the presence of others surrounding you, breathing beside you and with you, discovering together the way our voices rise and fall together in harmony, hope. Claim here a resilient freedom, the choice for love, for light, to live with joy and gratitude and praise as a form of resistance. May we be good company to one another in our questions and our journey. So may it be.
The great end of all the world's faith traditions is to bring the human being closer to the divine by acts of creation and compassion. In the spirit of generosity, Westside chooses to reach out to our wider community. That's just the choir getting up. If you're not in the choir, you don't have to stand up yet. Westside's plate offering for September is the Texas Unitarian Universalist Justice UU. The TXUU Justice Ministry is a statewide justice ministry that raises the voice of Unitarian Universalist values in the public arena. Westside has been a member congregation since 2012, 11 years ago. This past TXUUJM, led by the Passionate for Justice Reverend Aaron Walter, has initiated weekly action hours, which all are welcome to join. TXUUJM wrote and received a grant which enabled congregations to do a Get Out the Vote postcard campaign. Texas UU sent 20,000 or more postcards and letters to Texas voters. TXUUJM testified at the State Board of Education hearings during the summer of 2022 to stop misinformation from being placed in Texas public school curriculums. And TXUUJM has helped spread the word to and from various congregations to take actions in our local communities. With your contribution today, Westside can maintain its commitment to secure this collective for our UU voices in Texas. Thank you. Please give generously as you are able in support of this very worthy cause, and let us listen to Grateful, performed by our Westside Choir. You are invited to follow the beautiful text found on an insert in your order of service. Thank you all for putting into practice the spiritual virtue of generosity. Our giving connects us to the wider web of our community. Thank you for also keeping your stewardship commitment current to keep our congregation's important work going. And on the heels of directing that fantastic choir performance, please welcome Linda Ice to our pulpit to lead us in our responsive reading and our reflection.
Thank you so much. It is a privilege. It's a privilege. Life is a privilege in this building. Thank you. I would like to start this morning, thank you, with a responsive reading. It's found on number 444 in the gray hymnal, titled, "This House." A moment to find that. While you're doing that, I'll tell a little story of eons ago. This morning is kind of reminding me of the Sunday morning that I sang on Easter morning, "Because He Lives." And the preacher came up to preach the sermon later in the service and said, "That's all we need to hear." and he was just ready to send everybody home. And that's kind of how I feel like today has already been. It's already been such a fulfilling, rewarding, special, motivational service. So, but I'm going to try to go ahead and share a little bit more inspiration if you don't mind. So, number 44, "This House." I'll be reading the unitalicized, and you can read the italicized. "This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature.
It is a house of friendships, a haven in trouble, an open room for the encouragement of our struggle.
It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person.
It offers a platform for the free voice, for declaring both in times of security and danger, the full and undivided conflict of opinion.
It is a house of truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers.
It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies and handiworks.
It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present, in visions of growth and progress.
This house is a cradle for our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavor.
Thank you. And thank you so very, very much for being with us this morning in community. We're all anticipating cooler temperatures this week, I hope. I hope the promise holds true. Many Unitarian Universalist congregations will be celebrating ingathering services today. And as I mentioned a moment ago, being raised in the United Methodist Church, I knew of the seasons of the year: Advent, Christmas, Epiphany, Lent, Easter, Pentecost, and I bet some can name the last, Trinity. Does anyone else remember those seasons, or am I the only United Methodist? Okay. Myron tells me it was not a Baptist thing, so he did not know anything about that. But never had I heard of the term ingathering. I've grown, though, to love it very much because it speaks to our community coming back together, refreshed and renewed, ready to do the good work of Westside for another year. Being an educator now in my 45th year, I've always lived by a school year calendar, so this seemed like a smart thing for a church to do as well. It was actually my husband, Myron, who found Westside for us in the fall of 2007. We had been married for about 14 years there at that time, and we had both crossed the mid-century mark in our birthdays, and having grown up in a church community, we knew that we wanted the kind of friendships and support system that involvement in a church could provide as we were growing older. The trick, though, was finding a place that we could both feel comfortable and that would allow us to be our authentic selves. There's a story there that many of you know, and we're happy to share with those who don't, but it's better told over a glass of wine, so we can wait for that another day. But suffice it to say, it was going to be tricky to find a place. The Sunday, though, that Myron came and visited, he enthusiastically came home and said, "I think I have found our people." So we both attended the next Sunday, and then we brought Myron's parents the next Sunday, and after that. And then I'll never forget, a few weeks into our being here, it was the Pride service in October, and Mark McMurray was reading the story, and tango makes three. Needless to say, that sealed the deal. We knew we were home. We continued coming Sunday after Sunday, growing more and more invested in the idea of belonging to a church again. And ultimately, all four of us signed the book in December of 2007. Back in those days, there was a large contingent of folks that would go out to lunch after the service together. And I vividly remember a conversation that Myron had with Amy Youngblood as we were getting to know more about Westside. Myron, being the thinker and the questioner, he said, "Why do they call it a worship service? What exactly are we worshiping?" And Amy's answer was very plain and simple. She said, "Community." The affirmation resonates with us as well. There isn't anything that we felt we could not say with conviction, confidence in its truth, and pride. So we joined, and when we joined, we began to, or continue to engage in some of the many activities. We invested our time, we made a pledge of our treasure, and if I'm being completely honest, we did our best to disguise our talents for as long as possible. We tried singing very softly and to not share too much about the leadership that we had held in professional careers or experience in organizing or hosting events of many kinds. But that didn't last long, maybe 6 months, and the cat was out of the bag. So starting in the fall of 2008, we found ourselves on the newly formed worship team. For the next 11 years, we wore many hats. To name some, we organized committee fairs, we directed stewardship events, we served on the Aesthetics and Building Use Committee, the Stewardship Committee, the Committee on Ministry. I served as board president on the transition team. We were social chairs for a time. We co-founded the Humanist Seminar. I still coordinate and participate in the Samaritan House Supper Club, and we chaired 5 fundraising auctions that generated over $125,000 for special projects here at the church. And we are very proud of that work, and through those activities, we grew deeper and more committed to the good that Westside can do. We feel that to be able to effectively serve the greater community, you must first nurture and be nurtured in this community. The bonds that we have created through our service here are unlike any other that we have. Westside has been there for us through the death of our parents, through Myron's cancer, through the birth of our godson, Bodie, and the cancer that resulted in the death of his biological dad, Mark McMurray. Mark was also a committed, active member and volunteer here at Westside. Our Westside friends are our chosen family. We know they will stand by us through all our seasons of life and change. Has it all been rosy? I bet you know the answer. That would be a quick and hard no. But life isn't rosy always, and so church life is not either. We're a church of volunteering humans, and we will make errors in judgment and in relationship with one another. But we know that there's no other place that is filled with as much grace and forgiveness as Westside. In full transparency, the last auction that we did in the fall of 2019 just about did us in. This led to a letter to the board of directors expressing our concerns with the way things seem to be being led and supported at Westside. But we let the board know that we were going to discontinue most of our leadership roles for an indefinite amount of time to give ourselves time to heal. Shortly after sending our letter, COVID hit, and the whole world shut down and was forced to pull back. And looking back, probably a blessing, because we probably would have failed at holding back ourselves. So, and I can't get my page turned. Of course, the pandemic was a difficult time for all faith communities. Westside's experience was no different. Having our minister, Sherry Woodbury, resign to take another ministerial position early in the shutdown was not an easy challenge. We had a newly hired interim from the summer before, the director of Lifespan Religious Education, our wonderful Nikki Kennedy. She took on many roles and was truly the glue that held us together through these times. Our AV and worship team stepped up and produced quality worship experiences on Sunday mornings, week after week. And Yuki, where else could anyone go during a shutdown or any other Sunday and hear such a high quality of performance performance delivered with the sheer joy that she brings. Diane Nixon and her garden team didn't let a silly old pandemic keep them from continuing to make improvements in our new garden area. A lot of good was still happening. We continued our work in areas of social justice. I don't think Cindy's here this morning, but seriously, has anybody ever tried to slow that woman down? She doesn't. She doesn't. And we're only 6 months different in age. I don't know how she does it. Oh. We continue to provide monthly meals for Samaritan House residents. So just like the little engine that could, Westside just said, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And we did. Admittedly, Myron and I were slow to come back following the shutdown. I suppose we were still wishing to fulfill that need to pull back and feared the possibility of excessive volunteerism that we had found ourselves before. We continued our financial contribution as we were able because, like so many, we knew that we wanted Westside to be here when we were ready to come back. And let's face it, aren't those in-person connections so much better than digital? While we were grateful for the technology that allowed us to Zoom and have those Google Meets, streaming Facebook Live and work remotely, there's absolutely nothing that can take the place of a face-to-face connection. For many, including Myron and I, it's simply a matter of getting back into the habit of literally getting up and coming on a Sunday morning. Getting better. Early in the summer of 2022, we were visiting with our minister emeritus and dear friend, Russell Elvin, and he expressed his hopes for the new ministry at Westside. In conversation, he casually stated that Fort Worth needs Westside. I kept hearing his comment in my head, and when the office admin position opened up last fall, I decided to apply. I thought maybe this would be a way that I could support Westside as it was rebooting following the pandemic without volunteering at unhealthy levels again. And I'm happy to say that I think I've found a pretty good way to do that. While I am employed for my office duties, I have not stopped my voluntary service with Samaritan House, serving as song leader on occasion, and have recently been able to volunteer my professional abilities as a choral director. And I'm privileged, once again, to be filling the pulpit here to offer this reflection. I would like to remind you of Dr. Elvin's message from earlier this summer. He gave us 3 suggestions as we face our new challenges this year. He said, first, Westside matters and is worth fighting for because Fort Worth needs Westside. You remember he emphatically stressed that of all 50 states in this country, Texas would definitely be among the top 3 that needs a voice like Westside to continue the fight for equal rights and justice. I can't walk outside in the hall past his picture without his voice saying, Fort Worth needs Westside, and Westside matters and is worth fighting for. As we begin this year of building relationships and regaining trust, I would ask that you keep in mind his second suggestion, which was to believe that your ideas and opinions are very important, and also believe that others' ideas and opinions are very important. When you're given opportunities this year, as in upcoming town hall meetings, trust yourself to speak up and share your experience, your ideas, your opinions, because they do matter and they need to be heard. On the flip side, respect those ideas and opinions of others as well. There will be times when we need to compromise. None of us will get everything we want at any given time. Finally, though, he suggested that we also believe that other Westsiders will believe his first suggestions. So make sure that we are knowing that we are not alone. We are in this together and with a unified voice in the belief that Westside matters and each of our individual ideas and opinions matter. We will get through and beyond these challenges. It will take some hard work and effort, but it can be done. Your leadership and your staff are working hard for you and our community as a whole. So the question then is, how are you going to contribute to this common goal to keep our Westside voice strong? A small church community can thrive It can even grow with good relationships and connections. We are stronger together. How are you connecting with other Westsiders? There are so many ways that you just need to be willing to share some of your time. And so I encourage you to find ways to not only fuel yourself, that's the lesson we've learned, fuel yourself, but also serve others. A healthy balance of both can be very, very fulfilling. You may or may not receive a personal invitation to participate in a particular activity, but for goodness sakes, don't wait to be asked. If you hear of something that interests you, just come. And if you aren't sure how to connect, send me an email. It's super easy, office@westsideu.org, and I'll get you connected to the right place. If you see a weakness in an area of our church community, instead of complaining and complaining to others, ask how you can help. Again, I would be willing to direct your comments or concerns where they can be addressed. But keep in mind, we are a church of volunteers and are not infallible. We have one full-time employee, and let's be honest, we couldn't do anything that we do without our fearless, enthusiastic, uber creative, I hope she's hearing it in Fellowship Hall, kind, generous Director of Lifespan Religious Education, Nikki Kennedy. She has been our hero practically since she walked through our doors in the summer of 2019. And bless her heart, for 4 years she served our congregation with 3 different ministers and a pandemic shutdown, and she hasn't chosen to leave us. That speaks volumes to her personal commitment, her hope, and her dreams for Westside. Do we have a minister right now? We do not. But do we have strong lay leadership? I wholeheartedly say yes. Our board of directors has stepped up and has been volunteering their time over and over and over again to work through the challenges that we are facing. They have a board retreat planned for this fall to address goals for our community. Our worship team has speakers and topics of great interest scheduled through the end of the year and a plan for the first 2 months after the holidays. I'm certain that they would also welcome ideas for guest speakers and special services. We have exciting programming through our Lifespan Religious Education opportunities. Nikki and her team of volunteers have been working hard on curriculum and very creative ideas. So do we have small groups and Sunday educational opportunities? Yes. Do we have ways to serve the greater community? Yes. Do we have opportunities to gather socially and build relationships within our members and friends? Yes. It's up to you to figure out where and how you wish to connect. So, being the school teacher, I prepared an insert that I think Tanner already addressed, the yellow insert. I think it's yellow. It's a list of many ways that you can become involved. And so we'd love for you to take a moment sometime today or through the coming week, you can do it during potluck, to let us know where your interests lie. Circling something does not commit you to anything, I promise. But it will give our leaders a little direction of potential participants to reach out to you with information and opportunity in the coming months. Coming out of the pandemic, we've had a few groups that are even inactive right now. For instance, did you know that we are a certified green sanctuary congregation? And our leadership is working hard to implement green habits, such as our zero waste potlucks. But a group dedicated to that specific work would be very helpful. Our Humanist Seminar is looking for a new moderator. Samaritan House Supper Club could use a few more on our team to help serve our monthly dinners. And the garden team could always use extra hands. Circle Suppers are rebooting, and there's a sign-up area for that today as well. How does the old saying go? You know, many hands make light work. And so to help us all avoid burnout, more contributing will help everyone. Just as we say during our annual stewardship campaigns, don't give until it hurts, but please give until it feels good. And the same can be said for your level of volunteerism here at Westside. Westside will be celebrating the 30th anniversary of her founding in August of next year. know there's some of you in this room that maybe can't believe that. Some of the ones who were at that meeting. One of my favorite things that I coordinated while on the worship team was a Founders Day celebration and service. We hosted as many of the original group that we could gather in our home for dinner and conversation. Their story was truly inspiring, and the legacy that they have left us is worth fighting for. We are fortunate to have with us some of those founding members that I want to recognize today. They're very active still. They could probably talk to you about burnout. But Myrtle McMahon, Mary Alice Kretzinger, Brenda McKeon, Liz Campbell, and Ginger Courtney, who just recently did move to Kansas to be closer to her family. And I hope I haven't left anyone out. I tried to go check my old notes. But bless you for continuing, and yeah, it's just marvelous. There's a Holly Near song that sometimes in some periods of time I play it over and over. It's called I Am Willing, and the chorus says, I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up to the light of change. That's how I feel about Westside. And I hope that you would honor the work of our founding members. Through your support, participation, and service, we will continue their vision for a progressive voice in Fort Worth. The president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, sent a video message in anticipation of upcoming Ingathering services saying, quote, with natural disasters looming, violence in our streets and in our institutions, and hate-fueled harm appearing daily in our news feeds, this is a difficult time. But I know that our communities offer the kind of ministry that responds to the need for connection and solace. End quote. And it is with that thought that I remain hopeful, excited, and yes, grateful for what we can do in the coming year. What ideas, dreams, hopes, and connections will you bring to Westside as our story continues? As we rise in body or spirit, please join in singing our closing hymn, Let It Be a Dance. It's number 311, and let's sing the first and third verses.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Hear the laughter, hear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
One of the questions posed at our last town hall meeting was, what do we say to our new members and returning visitors about our story going forward? Judith Clemens, would you be so kind as to respond as you so beautifully did that day?
What to tell people. We get to tell them that be here, be part of this change, be part of our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. The flame is extinguished, but not our hope for the future, our courage in the face of crisis, or the love we share in all the world. And as soon as we do the congregational closing, we do invite you to the fellowship hall service for that zero waste potluck luncheon. Join me now in our congregational closing. Go in peace, seeking justice. Go in peace, committed to equal rights and opportunities for all. Go in the peace that is created when together we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace. May it be so, blessed be, and amen. Thank you all. See you in the fellowship hall.